welcome to Season 2, Episode 4 of One Man's Opinion, where I review professional theater in Connecticut and New York. Today I am reviewing Westport Country Playhouse's production of Ins Choi's Kim's Convenience, directed by Nelson T. Eusebio III, playing through July 17th at their theater at 25 Powers Court in Westport, Connecticut. Set in Kim's convenience store in the Toronto area, the story follows the Kim family, the father Appa, played by David Shih, mother Umma, played by Chuja Seo, and daughter Janet, played by Cindy Im. My apologies if I butchered some of those names. Appa is approached by Mr. Rhee, played by Eric R. Williams, who also plays several other characters, most importantly Alex, a cop who Janet has a crush on. Mr. Rhee offers Appa a buyout of the family store to tear it down and help make way for a Walmart. The buyout is at least 6 figures and more than enough for Appa and Umma to retire. Appa, though, is preoccupied with his legacy and doesn't want to leave the world with nothing left behind to signify his work, and he feels that the convenience store is the legacy he has. Janet doesn't want to inherit the store, and his son Jung, played by Hyunmin Rhee, walked out on the family at the age of 16 after Appa hits him, stealing Appa's savings in the process. Kim's Convenience is an overall delightfully funny show. Choi's dialogue is smart, witty, and sometimes cutting. There is a bit of stereotypical dialect humor, like Appa having trouble saying the word peanuts, that if not for the fact that it was written by an actual Korean-Canadian playwright, it would probably be considered racist. Regardless of your feelings on the issue, I do give Zoe Kim and Bibi Mama credits for doing an excellent job as dialect coaches and creating a cross of Korean and Canadian accents and having it be understandable to an American audience. What is both a hit and miss for me for Kim's Convenience is the sitcom nature of the script, which makes sense as to why the play was later adapted into a Canadian sitcom of the same name, which now I want to watch. Regardless, as theater, there ends up being some story contrivances that allow the plot to resolve a bit easier than it probably should, and then there are plot points that are just dropped, like the buyout offer, which is barely brought up again after the initial discussion. The conflict resolution between Jung and Appa feels a little too easy as well. Plus, considering how much stage time Janet has leading up to the finale of the play, I feel like she needs to be involved in it as well. Her and Umma both should have been present for what happens between Appa and Jung. This also just may be my Anglo-American self projecting how I would want a situation handled versus Korean culture. Maybe there is still a patriarchal dynamic that is more predominant in Korean culture, that women aren't privy to conflicts between the men in the family. I really don't know. If that is the case, I respect that as Choi's efforts to be authentic. But if not, I feel like there was an opportunity for a greater reconciliation. As if you have any informed knowledge on this sort of thing, please leave your comments below. I'd love to learn more about it. I love You-Shin Chen's set design. I walked into the theater thinking, wow, that is definitely a convenience store. It looked perfect, right down to the candy display in the front and the cold beverage case in the back. The only nitpick would have been that there probably should have been a debit credit card reader on the counter, but that's a really small nitpick. The cast is great. I particularly enjoyed watching Cindy Im and David Shih work together. The exasperation coming from Im as Janet in dealing with a father that is more of an annoyance than anything else in her life reads perfectly, and Shih's delivery amplifies Im's performance. The scene with the two of them with Eric R. Williams as Alex is probably my favorite in the show, as Appa, for lack of a better word, coerces Alex and Janet to express their feelings for each other. It's delightfully hysterical and absurd in some of the direction and action that takes place in the scene. Kim's Convenience is an enjoyable evening of light comedy with a heartfelt theme behind it. It lacks the emotional depth to be a great comedy, in my opinion, but it does reach for it. It's a delightful show, and I encourage everyone to see it. But I am only one man's opinion, so be sure to leave yours in the comments below. If you're interested in seeing Kim's Convenience, I'll leave a link in the description. You can support my channel by liking, sharing, and subscribing, and hit the notification bell to be alerted to future reviews. My next review will be Summer Theater of New Canaan's production of Once on This Island. Thank you for watching, and I will see you at the theater.